Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my show, Lifestyle with Dr. Mobi. This is Dr. Mobi. Today, we welcome our special guest, Dr. Ashar. We welcome you today.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, I just want to emphasize again, based on my book, Lifestyle with Dr. Mobi, for Keep It Simple Diet, Sleep, and Exercise. It's very important that there are components of this program which emphasize also on exercise. And there are two basic ways of going through. Number one is your net. So whatever intake we do, whatever calories we consume, if we spend more than that, then the net will be still balanced. So that's the basic concept of my book and also my program, and that's what exactly I preach everyone. So this is the most important thing. So if you are more into, you have to adapt everything to yourself. So some people can modify their diet, which is me, and some would do more exercise because they love exercise, and that's perfect. But remember, you still have to be very careful with your total calories and your whole idea of health. It's very important. You can individualize each program to, and that's the key, that one shoe cannot fit everyone, and that's very, very important. So today I will talk a little bit later on about exercise. So let's welcome our guest.
Thank you. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ashar. I live in DMV area. I know Dr. Mobi and our one and only Asim Bhai for many, many years. It's an honor and a great pleasure to be in your show. Thank you very much. I'm a physician by education, but I work as a laboratory scientist. I work for one of the very prestigious health system in DMV area. I also have master's in health informatics and actually recently graduated. And thank you very much again.
Thank you very much, and it's been pleasure to have you here today. And the other thing is, we always emphasize that we need to practice and preach same thing. So it's very important that we try to maintain our health, because if we don't do that, how can we even tell other people? And we can still tell, but I always believe that's more effective when we are our example. So I would just discuss a little bit about his routine, and we'll try to get some good advice from him time to time. So walk me through, doctor. When you wake up, what do you normally do?
Basically, I'm a big fan of freehand exercises. I go to gym at least 2 to 3 times a week. I always spare time. It is always difficult with family and kids and work, but I always somehow spare extra time to go to gym 2-3 times a week. I sometimes go run around. I have a small group of individuals from Loudoun County where I live. I actually basically volunteer in that group, and my son is a part of that group. We go and do cross country a couple times a week. As I said, 2-3 times I go to gym. I do some free hand exercises, but I also highly recommend some weight exercises. Weight exercises are, as you know, being as a physician, weight exercises are great to maintain your body tone, body muscle. It is highly recommended. As we age, we lose our body mass index. Weight-bearing exercises are highly recommended. Also, actually, I want to mention, especially for postmenopausal women, as you age, that's highly recommended to do some kind of weight-bearing exercises to maintain your body mass index or BMI.
Okay, so and that's a very, very good concept, that to make sure you have some kind of activity, whether you take steps or whether you do weight training, there has to be consistency. So that's what I basically mentioned. So whatever we do, we need to put that in our lifestyle. It should not look like, and should not feel like that we are basically doing for 1 day, 2 days. And unfortunately, a lot of people come to me and they say, Doc, we are actually doing exercise for one day, maybe a week, and then they give up, and then they see, oh, we have actually gained weight. That is true. So you really have to watch your diet too, what you eat with this exercise, any exercise. So it's always have to go together, in my opinion, because you if you unfortunately eat different and still your body percentage, you cannot burn all those calories. So in my opinion, that's very important. So we'll also ask him how is his breakfast, what do you like normally in the breakfast.
So that's a great question. I usually don't monitor my calories. Maybe that's because of my metabolism. Everybody has different metabolism, and actually, it's very important to know how your body acts or works with your diet. So, as I said, I don't monitor my calories, but of course, I live active life and I eat small portion.
Okay,
I don't
that's very
overfeed myself. When I go to desi parties, my goal is to get one plate, and that's just to stick with one plate.
And see, so that's very smart actually. So important thing is, we all talk about diet, but we have to realize that even on the diet food, if you don't pay attention to the portion size, unfortunately that does not work. So he is very smart on his portion control, and you can actually eat different whatever you like, but if you eat in a smaller portion and you keep your appetite, it's very important. So my take is always make sure differentiate thirst from hunger. So you want to drink water before you eat, you want to eat small portion, you want to stop once you have eaten something, because it's very important to stop. And then there's a mindful element to it, that I tell my body, okay, I'm gonna eat in next half hour or later, because I don't have to eat all in one setting. And eat slowly, take your time, and then enjoy the food. That's very important, and pay attention to exactly the portion. So I think he's doing wonderful job with portion control, and he has his way. I've seen him many times. We meet at the parties. He knows when to stop, and he's not gonna go for 3-4 times to fulfill his stomach.
That's right.
So that's very important, because we all need portion control beside maintaining a good exercise program. So tell me a little bit about your walking, or I know you mentioned a little bit about your exercise regimen. So tell me a little bit about steps. Do you monitor? Do you have any app?
I usually monitor my watch. It's a smart watch. You can.
Okay.
There are many smart watches. I don't think we are marketing any particular brand.
No.
But as we were talking about freehand exercises, either you like to run outside. If you want to do elliptical treadmill, or stationary cycle, whatever exercise you think is best for you, or believe this is best for you, stick to it as long as you believe that. And then you can always switch around. So the best thing I do with myself before starting any exercise, I warm up my body. That is very important, to do some warm up by skipping rope, stretching, running, elliptical. It prevents you from a muscle cramp. It increase your stamina, and it's great. So once I stretch my, when I do my warm up my body, it's good enough. Half an hour running, or whatever you can do initially, whatever your capacity is. You basically increase your capacity slowly. You cannot be running 2 miles or 5 miles very first day you start doing that, or you motivate yourself that, okay, I need to shed some weight and I have to start working out, and you will start working out or start running 5 miles very first day. So you condition yourself slowly. So warm up your body. The second thing, after warming up my body, I do some kind of stretching. Stretching is, again, it strengthens your body, it maintains your body tone, muscle tone. There are many stretching exercises. There are many free apps you can download, or we can show you some basic stretching exercises.
Yeah, and that would be great. If you can just, if you would like to share some of your basic moves for audience for ease, maybe they understand what you mean by some simple stretching. So, do you have any particular regimen you go by, or?
Sure. So as you first your body is warm up, you are sweating a little bit. Make sure you flap your hands frontward and upward. You do some kind of stretching, your hip stretching, back stretching. That is extremely good for your spinal cord and your hip muscles. You can also do this. You don't have to very fast hit your chest to your thighs. You do it slowly. This is bending on one side, keeping your hips stationary. It's another good exercise. It's extremely good for your love handle. After that, you can stretch your legs a little bit. You don't have to split your whole legs very first day, or you don't have to unless you are competing to fight in UFC for with Habib Nurmagomedov. But you can always do this exercise. That's a great exercise. There are many exercises. You can sit down on a floor and you can stretch. We can do another session and show you multiple that can be specifically for stretching, and we can do some stretching, show you step by step some stretching exercises. Once I'm done with running, stretching, the other exercise I always do and recommend is push-ups. This is the most popular one. It strengthens your upper body. It's extremely good for your shoulder, your bicep, your triceps, and also your spinal cord. It's a very famous exercise.
Okay. Now, when you do the push-ups, do you maintain a certain rhythm? Like, do you do upper body or biceps, these many, and then you follow different portions of muscle groups, or do you just follow all in one day?
I usually do 60 to 100 push-ups per day. Wow. In a good day. So if you keep your hands close together, that will be specifically for your shoulder. If you keep your hand a little bit split open, that can be good for your bicep. Arms are being used in every exercise you basically do, freehand or weight training exercise. Arms are always being used. Yes, that's my...
Okay. And also, I just want to also emphasize, make sure with all your physical activity, check with your doctor, make sure you're fit to do that, and don't push limits if you think that is gonna cause problem for you. So don't expect that stamina to build up quickly. It takes time. So it's important. I recommend, if you are going to start exercise program, stretching and simple exercise is not a problem. But if you're gonna do more, then definitely it's gonna come down to talk to your doctor and make sure you are well versed with that. So also, I would like to ask you about your a few tips you would like to give to audience about somebody starting from scratch exercise program. Then we simplify that for them. So anybody is interested in, they can start with certain tips, and then I will help them to understand.
It all depends on your capacity. If you haven't exercised for last 5 years, maybe you should start walking outside, fresh air, get some good oxygen, and then slowly start jogging. Maybe joining a gym would be a good idea. It motivates you. I have been going to my clubhouse and there were not many people, so it wasn't motivated. I was discontinuing my my exercising regimen again and again. But then I realized I need to enroll myself to gym. That will motivate you to go. You see other people, that enhances your eagerness to stay fit. So join a club, start going, and you will start feeling well. As you start feeling well, you will be motivated to go again and again. That's one way I have learned for myself.
And that's very important, that whatever we do, we keep consistency motivated. So if you want to join the support group, you're welcome to keep watching our program, and we always emphasize exercise, diet, and sleep. So also take steps, go outside. It's very important that we understand it can really impact our sleep too. So if you do exercise program, you are going to sleep better. A lot of studies indicate the quality of sleep actually improves with that. And so I would keep on walking and making sure discuss with your physician about the intensity program. If you're gonna lift weight and if you're gonna do more, make sure you are well versed with that. The other thing is make sure keep consistency, and as well as your buddies, if you have, that's good to motivate you always.
Exactly.
And like his example, so other thing I would also emphasize, make sure drink plenty of water. So you want to drink water, you want to give little tips on what normally your regimen is. Do you take something for exercise like banana, or do you are okay with just water?
I'm okay with water. Basically, I take sugar-free Gatorade drink that gives me energy. I take some kind of juice that gives me enough sugar to last for a couple hours.
Oh, okay, very
Right.
good. Another thing is very important is a lot of people ask me what to drink with exercise, and it's very important to understand. My preference, I will tell you, and then we'll ask our guests. My preference is I drink actually water, lemonade, little bit without sugar. I add salt, and then I take my time to do exercise and so forth. So, but I will ask what are the different products to our guests, and what are the options available for somebody who is doing exercise like him. So,
Sure, thank you. It's very important to maintain your electrolytes because when you are exercising, you sweat. As you sweat, you lose your electrolytes. So some kind of source where you can maintain your electrolytes are very important. I personally take a zero Gatorade, which helps me maintain my electrolytes basically.
okay, and that's very good. So pay attention to cramps. Make sure if you are having that electrolyte deficiency can happen, and that's not good. So drink plenty of water. Again, advice. So now I will ask our guests to show some of important exercise or simple exercise which anyone can do for daily routine or whatever routine you like to follow.
Sure. As earlier we discussed about warming up your body, we spoke about stretching, we spoke about upper body exercises for our chest, shoulder, and arms. The next thing I do is always do some kind of squats by simply standing up and sitting down. It helps you shed the flaps on your abdomen. It's a great exercise. These are the few 4, 5, 6 exercises. You can, as you get conditioned, you can increase the intensity from 0 to 100. So you can be doing 10 push-ups in the beginning as you consider yourself beginner. As you advance, you start doing 20, 30, 40. Same thing with stretching, same thing with squatting. You may start with 5 squats, and then you slowly start increasing your intensity as your body muscle can tolerate that intensity. So after squats, there are many different exercises for strengthening your abdominal muscles. Basically, you can do leg
flips.
Leg flips. Yeah, can we do it again? Yeah, there are many exercises to strengthen your abdominal muscles. You can do leg flaps by simply lying down on a floor straight and then raising your leg straight. Or you can also lie down. You can stick your toes to some kind of couch or somebody, or you can tell your kid to stand on your toes. And you can do some abdominal exercises. It strengthens your abdominal muscles.
Core muscles. Okay.
Muscles.
So how many do you do? Like, do you have a specific time for that, or do you just assign just portions of the body and just spend 5 minutes, 3 minutes.
So if I go to gym, if that day is dedicated for weight training, at the end of the weight training, whatever I'm doing, if I'm doing chest exercise or shoulder exercise or bicep or tricep exercises, at the end of the day, I dedicate 15 to 20 minutes just for crunches, for abdominal exercises and thigh exercises, leg exercises, lower body exercises. If I'm running outside, if that is my free hand exercises, I put my mat on the ground on a turf and do some kind of crunches. Usually my kids are with me doing all that, so I can always ask them to stand on my toes, and I can and we do it together. It's fun.
Yeah, and it's very important that involve your whole family in your program, because that's the success of any program. If the whole family follows, that you're doing with your kids, they all kind of into lifestyle, and it's very important for them. So it was pleasure seeing you. Thank you
Thank you
for
very much.
coming and sharing your tips.
Definitely.